I turned the page, I wanted to know what happens next. There's something there for everybody in the picture. It has the humor of the times and the man and his plight. It has a light touch to it, which, again, Paul Pender, Paul just hit the notes delicately. It could have been a harsh 53, Ireland, the church, depressing, but it has lightness of touch.
Was there something in the writer's background which attracted him to this story in particular? Something which gave its themes special resonance for him?
I had a very happy and secure childhood, despite the absence of my father for most of it. My mother did a great job in bringing up my brother and my sister and myself. And every year we would go to my granny's place in Rothsay in the Isle of Bute, which I loved. It was a kind of childhood paradise. It was the first time I'd seen palm trees, and there was blue skies and beautiful sea, and the meadows where my brother and I played football. And it was a really happy time. I suppose it was what Wordsworth called the visionary gleam of childhood. And ever since, I wanted to create that sense of heat and light and colour in the grown-up world, and I suppose that's led me to Los Angeles and Santa Monica. Certainly my childhood must have had some echoes with the script, because otherwise I wouldn't have brought the passion and the love to the writing of it that I experienced.
But writing a script with passion is only half the battle. How do you make a major studio share that passion?
While I was at MGM, I was sitting in their plaza one day having lunch, and the familiar figure of Pierce Brosnan passed by. And I looked at him and I thought, I hadn't realised he had his office and his deal with that studio. I saw him and I thought, the name's Doyle, Desmond Doyle. I am going to give him the script when I finish it. So that was an impulse to finish it quickly and leave the script on Pierce's desk personally with a scribbled note saying, I'm a Scottish guy and I have to go back in 3 weeks, and I'd love if you read this script because I know you want to do Irish movies.
What happened was in '96, Paul Pender showed up on our doorstep with the script and told me he'd written it for Pierce. And that, I'm like, well, what are the chances someone's going to write something and it's going to be good? And then I read the script when we went off to do The Nephew, and I'm like, this is good. 2
weeks later, I got a call saying Mr. Brosnan would like to meet you for lunch. So we then went for lunch to a nice restaurant in Santa Monica. And even by Hollywood standards, he's such a big star and obviously so attractive that all these women kept knocking on the window of the restaurant. And I was quite nervous about talking to him for the first time, effectively. And as these women knocked on the window, I had to say, it's okay, Pierce, this happens to me wherever I go. And that kind of broke the ice a bit. And he thought, yeah, this guy's got a sense of humour and we could work together.
Pierce was at the center. He's like the crown jewel of the project in the beginning because he's attracting the attention, because he's willing to put himself on the line for something he believed in. I think that that was because of the material, though.
From getting Pierce interested, it still took years to raise the money because the studios want him to be James Bond. They don't want him to be an Irish painter and decorator.
Evelyn was always on the page, on the list of projects that we loved and liked. And we just noodled it along, so to speak. You keep on working on the text. Paul is a wonderful fella to sit and kind of have a glass of Guinness with, or a pint of Guinness with, or just hang out with. He's easy on the ear. He's a great raconteur. He has a funny kind of twist on words. So it was easy, just, he'd come into the office and hang out and we'd talk about it and wonder about who would direct it.
His passion then got it to Bruce Beresford, and that's when it all started to come together.
We sent it to Bruce. Bruce liked it. We met. Bruce came down to Malibu and we sat and we talked about it and we started working on it. And once we got Bruce Beresford, then we had a filmmaker. I mean, you dream of them, you work on them, you want it, but then you get someone like that who's going to direct the piece, and it takes on a whole new life.
So you have good script, well-established star, Oscar-winning director, and now we're going out with the list to cast this movie of people that all said they were our first choices. They were all people that were extremely perfect.